Hi, I just did a video about 2026, and then I had a conversation with somebody about 2029 or 2025, and I realized that there was something else that I needed to do, and so I wanted to share that with you. I need to go back to 2025 and acknowledge all the gifts I got from that year. Also from the cycle. If we go back to 2025, take away 9, what is it, 2016, 2017? And so go back to the beginning of that cycle and take a look at what's happened to you over the past 9 years. And a 9 is always about finding our wisdom. As if you take a look at a cycle, the 1 is about creating, it's about the new idea. The 2 is about planting the seed. 3 would be making sure the soil isn't right and it's getting a little bit of water and waiting for it to sprout. 4 is building that foundation and really giving all of that plant the support that it needs, whether it's a trellis or it's hilling the dirt or putting some sort of barrier around it so rodents can't get at it. The 4 is about building that stability. And then you move higher into that 9-year cycle. And the 5 then becomes, it's about discipline and freedom. And that's about really tuning in to making sure that you are doing everything you can and taking the steps to build that freedom that comes when you're harvesting. And so the 6 is about tuning back again into the vision, accepting some of the things that aren't going exactly the way you want them to go, and realizing that we're not searching for perfection, we're searching for beauty and understanding that what we're creating is perfect as it is. And then that 7 is trusting that all the work we've done is really going to come to fruition, and opening to what actually that harvest might be for us, and what is the journey that we've been on. When the 8 comes, it's about harvest. It's about recognizing the abundance that we've gained, and also understanding the authority we had in ourselves to make that grow, to actually move through those steps and come to this place where we can harvest what we planted 8 years before that. And last year was the end of the cycle. And in the 9-year is where we gain the wisdom from all of the things that we learned, especially and most intensely through the challenges that we came through. And then what wisdom have we garnered in the way we want to walk with integrity, which is the next vibration, through the next cycle. So are we willing to learn from the patterns that have been repeating? Are we recognizing the power we have in the choices that we make? Are we willing to shift our focus from the paradigm that we're living under to the truth that we now know through the experience that we've just had? I've always, since I was a young girl, had a deep understanding that there was some power moving through me, speaking through me, serving through me, that was guiding me. Not giving me a choice, mind you, because there were lots of times when I didn't want to do what I knew I had to do, and yet I knew I had to do it. And so there was always a good result at the end. There was always a good feeling and growth and wisdom, and something opened up because of that. I recognized that right from being young. This past 9-year cycle for my husband Rob and I has been one of the most intense decades of our lives. It started with a heart attack and ended with a heart attack. 2017 he had a triple bypass, and in October of 2025 he had another major cardiac event. during those 9 years, that cycle to grow health and to find a new way to live a life and rehab, that for a lot of us, and I've talked to many, many, many people, lots of my clients, lots of my friends, has brought us to our knees, has shaken us at the very core of what we thought life was like, especially as we went through, 2020, 2021 and 22. And this year has been an entire year of Rob's health declining, and starting with what we've referred to as the escape from Mexico, and his health being so serious that we couldn't even enjoy a week in Puerto Vallarta because he was so sick. Being seriously rescued by a friend and taken in and housed and supported for a year, which gave him the ability to heal and come to a place where we got some stability. It gave me an opportunity to regroup. I know I was running on caregiver burnout, and we had sold our property the year before in 2024, and we were really enjoying this idea that we were home free, and we still love that idea. Towards the end of the year, the energy really started building up about life changes and pushing us again in directions that were going to take us in a new way. One of those was the awareness, and intuitively it was screaming at me for a week, and I couldn't really figure out where that was coming from because I didn't stop and tune in. The home that we're in at the moment, shall I say, with love and compassion and understanding that the situation that we're in and what we're going through has become overwhelming for the person who rescued us. And so with deep gratitude and understanding, we are looking for a new space. Because the health is changing so quickly, we are only able to project 6 months in advance for what we need. And so this new beginning for us is really leaping into faith and saying, God's going to provide for us. We'll find a place. We have now a time limit of up to March to have to find a new place. That timing is going to take some creativity to solve, because Rob will be in the middle of transitioning to what they call the cycler, or the home machine. And so I don't usually want to tell the story. The reason I'm telling the story this way is because I know so many people who've experienced really big setbacks like this in 2025. Really physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually trying situations. And I know that we're all working to gain the courage and the wisdom and, to find the next step. I'm encouraging you to really sit back and take a look at some of the challenges that you've had. Because I can recognize, even in the heat of a heart attack that actually was very serious, and will involve some major decisions over the course of the next few months. It moved Rob into emergency dialysis at the Grey Nuns. And for 4 or 5 days, he was in critical care. And nurses were working 24/7, as were the doctors, to literally keep him alive while they could get his body stable enough to go to dialysis. We had many conversations during that time. And one of the things that we talked about came from our awareness and our practice over the past 25 and 30 years. And that is that In all things, God moves. In all ways, God is present. And in the midst of the worst and most trying times of our lives, when we can really question, what do I need to hear? What is it that I need to tune in? That's where we gain that wisdom. It's where we gain the strength to move forward. In moments like that, we certainly don't have the strength. And so while I don't practice religion and I come from a religious background, I am so cellularly certain that God moves with me each moment. That as we move through those challenges in the past couple of months, I found renewed sense of knowing that this was part of our destiny. That in Rob's case, he was being given an opportunity to really change his identity and who he is in order to create a new health story for himself. And he's brilliantly doing it. And in my case, I had to redefine what role I was playing, because I've looked past and seen myself using my 2 number, which is all about responsibility and cooperation, and overdoing. And it out of fear and the challenge of losing my husband, and of course thinking I had some control, because, you know, in all of these numbers I'm a Leo and a double 1, so we'll talk about that another time. I thought I could control and take responsibility for helping him stay healthy. And, you know, another program, I was in Al-Anon for 30 years, and that taught me, man, you're only enabling his behavior because you're not letting him make the choice himself. And so I was doing that out of fear. And so I've changed my agreement. I'm asking you where you want to be. Who is the you want to be in 2026? That's the choice that we have. It's really the only free will we have. And so we're looking at giant dreams that involve organ transplants and supreme shifts in lifestyle. Major decisions that project into a future that's completely unknown for everybody, and with conditions that might influence our life beyond any control that we have. And in the midst of all of that, all I can do is smile, because my gratitude is so deep for all of the different ways that I've been opened up to understand how much power we have when we tune in and stay connected to the frequencies and flow of the universe, to God, which is the highest frequency, to those things that we can align to that bring us the courage and the integrity and the confidence to move forward. This is a huge year for us, for everybody, the whole world. We will see changes and newness and beginnings that seem so literally out of this world that we won't be able to grasp them. And it's the first day of January, and it's a 111 gateway. And we won't ever have this energy again. And I know that today offers so much opportunity for us to be able to plant that idea at the beginning of the cycle and be prepared to watch the world open up for you and provide for you the gifts you need to create what it is you want. So the other video that I did, we're just going to talk about the frequencies and the numbers of 2026. So go back and take a look at what all the opportunities will give you. And in the meantime, tune in and find out what it is that God wants to move through you. The universe, cosmos, light, love, the law, whatever it is you call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. It really doesn't matter what you call it. It's all about the feelings that you have of rightness when you're moving in the path that you're called to. And each of us has a purpose here on the planet, whether it be to raise your kids or lovingly. We have had so much help at this hospital, and one of the most pleasant experiences we had was with one of do they call them it's not ushers, it's orderlies. I don't know what they call them. The fellows that transport people from appointments or into the other parts of the hospital. Such a pleasant fellow, so upbeat. Whatever you do in your life is influenced how you're being. And it's that state of being that I call on you for 2026 to really reach inside and make a decision about who you want to do, who you want to be. How do you want to contribute to the world? How do you want to step up and show humanity that this is what love is all about? I know I'm rambling. And I could probably go on for hours about this because I'm so charged up about this new energy. Take some time today. Really, really tune in. What I wanted to say about the gateway before I let you go. 111, if you add them up, is a 3. And so because 2026 is a 10, and in the other video I explain a lot about it, but it also holds 2026 holds the energy power of 3, which is expression and sensitivity. If you need the book, go look up The Life You Were Born to Live from Dan Millman. It's got a life purpose app too, I think. It's free. That expression and sensitivity in the 0, that's also in January, because 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. January has a 3 influence. And so the expression and sensitivity that we all have inside of us, it's going to kind of open up and explode, will influence the 1 again. So watch the other video, sit back and really think, feel, breathe, meditate, play a gong, walk in nature. It's winter here, don't do it barefoot unless you want to do like the Scandinavians do. I am so empowered by this year, and I really, really hope you can feel that feeling. Take the gratitude in. Have a wonderful, amazing day, and extend that into January. And find something to love about life today. See you soon.